When facts vanish, imagination rushes to fill the void. And in the case of the USS Cyclops, that void has lasted more than a century. In 1919, the U.S. Navy officially closed its investigation with 2 words stamped across the report: cause unknown. But that phrase didn't end the story. It began one. How could a ship nearly 165 meters long, carrying 309 men and 10,000 tons of steel ore, simply disappear on a clear day? From that single question came decades of speculation, some rational, some fantastical, but all chasing the same answer. Where is the Cyclops? The most widely accepted explanation among naval engineers is also the simplest. The Cyclops was overloaded beyond her design limit.
She was built to carry roughly 7,500 tons safely. When she left Brazil, she was loaded with over 10,800 tons of dense manganese ore, a 45% overload. With one of her engines already disabled and her hull weakened by years of heavy service, even a mild sea could have caused fatal stress along the keel. Naval engineer Charles W. Cutler, in a 1958 study, summarized,
"The Cyclops likely broke apart like a stick of wood, quickly, silently, and without warning. Technically plausible. But it doesn't explain why not a single trace of wreckage was ever found." Although meteorological records from March 1918 show calm conditions, NOAA researchers in 2008 proposed that the ship may have encountered a microburst, a sudden, localized downward blast of air that can strike the sea with devastating force. These invisible storms were unknown to science in 1918. A microburst can generate rogue waves towering over 20 meters, enough to overwhelm even a fully loaded collier. Meteorologist Dr. Henry Pritchard of NOAA stated, "The Cyclops didn't need a storm to sink. It only needed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time." Yet even a violent microburst would likely have left floating debris. The ocean, however, remained completely silent. From the beginning, whispers of discord aboard the Cyclops had followed the ship. Commander George W. Worley was known for his volatility, a strict disciplinarian with an unpredictable temper. Crewmen who had left the ship in Brazil described an atmosphere of fear. He carried a revolver, they said, and often accused sailors of conspiracy. So when the ship vanished, rumors exploded. Had there been a mutiny? Had the crew turned on its captain? Or vice versa? The New York Evening World speculated that the Cyclops had been seized by her own men and scuttled in rebellion. The Navy investigated. No proof emerged. One officer later remarked, "We cannot even prove that she sank, only that she never came back." Worley's German birth fueled darker suspicions. The United States was at war with Germany, and xenophobia ran high. Was it possible that the commander had defected, delivering the ship to the enemy? After the war, captured German naval archives were examined and found no record of any such event. German officers themselves denied involvement, stating that no ship of that description was ever intercepted or sighted. Still, the theory of betrayal refused to die. In the absence of truth, suspicion thrives. In the 1950s, author Vincent Gaddis published an article titled "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle," linking a string of disappearances in the same region. At its heart was the USS Cyclops. 2 decades later, Charles Berlitz expanded on the idea, proposing magnetic anomalies, energy vortices, even alien intervention. The public was captivated. For the first time, the Cyclops wasn't just a lost ship. It was a mythic ghost, the first recorded victim of the Bermuda Triangle. Scientists, of course, dismissed these claims. But once a story enters popular culture, it never truly sinks. Some researchers, however, found a kernel of truth within the legend. The region between Bermuda and Puerto Rico does indeed contain geomagnetic anomalies, irregularities in Earth's magnetic field that can distort compass readings and disrupt radio communication. Could such interference have disabled the Cyclops' navigational instruments, sending her fatally off course? Dr. Peter Kolb of the University of Hamburg wrote in 1987, "Magnetic anomalies may not destroy ships, but they destroy orientation, and at sea, confusion kills." Still, Magnetism alone cannot make a ship vanish. One chilling fact often overlooked: the Cyclops was not alone in her fate. She belonged to the Proteus-class colliers, and two of her sister ships, the USS Proteus and the USS Nereus, also disappeared in the same region of the Atlantic during World War II. The Proteus vanished in 1941, the Nereus in 1942, both without distress, calls, or debris. 3 ships, same design, same waters, same mystery. Engineer John Stilwell, in a 1954 report, concluded, "The coincidence is statistically improbable. A structural flaw within the Proteus-class design may have doomed them all." No official follow-up was ever conducted. In 2003, oceanographers from the University of Florida proposed that the Cyclops may have fallen victim to a submarine vortex, a massive, rotating underwater current formed by temperature and salinity shifts. Computer models suggested such vortices could reach 150 kilometers in diameter, with downward forces strong enough to drag even large ships below the surface in minutes. No hard evidence ties this directly to the Cyclops, but it offers one haunting possibility. Perhaps the sea didn't just swallow the ship, it pulled it down. Over time, speculation drifted beyond science. Books and television shows proposed outlandish ideas: extraterrestrial abduction, dimensional portals, government experiments, even time distortion. None hold factual weight, but they reveal how the Cyclops transcended fact to become something else, a mirror reflecting our fear of the unknown. For historians, the mystery is less supernatural than human. The early 20th century was an age of limited technology: no radar, no sonar, no satellite tracking. A single mechanical failure could erase a ship before anyone knew it was in danger. Naval historian Dr. James Delgado of the Smithsonian summarized, "The Cyclops disappeared because the world wasn't yet capable of finding her." A sobering reminder that mystery often arises not from magic, but from ignorance. In recent years, sonar mapping has covered much of the Cyclops' last known route. Still, no wreck has ever been located. However, data from those searches has yielded new insights. In 2018, NOAA researcher Michael Barnett modeled a partial structural collapse scenario. According to his findings, the Cyclops could have broken apart in less than 30 seconds, sinking instantly in waters over 3,000 meters deep. His report concluded, "The combination of overload, metal fatigue, and mechanical failure explains all known factors, except the silence. That silence remains the greatest mystery of all. Every theory, from the scientific to the absurd, tries to explain the same thing: how a ship could vanish so completely. Maybe it broke apart. Maybe it was sabotaged. Maybe it was simply lost to a moment of chaos the ocean never revealed." More than a century later, the USS Cyclops still defies conclusion. And perhaps that is its final truth: that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, only remembered.